Hi guys, I'm James McIntosh and today I'm joined with our new signing, Kaya Tshaka. Kaya has joined from Havant and Waterlooville. First of all, Kaya, how does it feel to now be a Gosport player?
Nah, I'm over the moon. To be fair, it's a really good club. You can tell just when coming down and seeing the people and seeing everyone behind the scenes, the manager, the assistant manager, everyone there. It's like a really family orientated club. So now I'm really delighted to be a part of it, and I'm looking forward to get going. Really.
Kaya, before we got into the call, you mentioned how it was quite a quick deal. It happened within a few days. So when did you first hear about the interest of coming down and joining the borough?
So I think I went on holiday last week, so it must have been the week before that. So it was around 2 weeks ago, probably 2 weeks ago today. I had like four missed calls from Glenn, and Glenn was just like kept pinging my phone. So obviously I was looking at my phone thinking, oh, who's this? Who's got my number? Then obviously Glenn's giving me a message underneath to say like, look, I've come from Dortch to Gosport now. I'm here. I want you to come and join the project with me. Give me a call back as soon as possible. So obviously I saw the message, gave him a ring. He didn't pick up the first time, so I was like, oh, what's going on there? And then he picked up. Obviously straight away, he called me back straight away, and he was like, look, I really want to be here. We're building something really special. We've got a core of experienced players, and then obviously with a bit of youth, we want to play on the front foot. And the project on the pitch as well as off the pitch really suited me, and I was really interested by it. So yeah, I had the call, and then the next day was down at the ground, had a look around, met the chairman, met everyone behind the scenes, sort of thing, and then obviously we got talking, and then yeah, it was yesterday really that signed everything, got it done. So now it's been quite a quick deal, quick turnaround, but now I'm delighted with it.
Well, it sounds like Glenn was instrumental in for you coming to Gosport. How is your relationship with Glenn and how did you first meet together, you guys?
So I've known Glenn for a little while now, probably for the last 4 or 5 years now. So I knew Glenn from when I first started out in men's football. When I first just left Saints and I went to Wimborne on loan, he knew me from there. And obviously I played against him when he was at Poole and things like that. And then obviously I played against him again when he was at Dorchester when I was at Poole. And yeah, he's had kept his tabs on me for the last couple of years, and he likes me as a player, and he was really really keen bringing me here. And then obviously the gaffer, I kind of knew him when he was at EC just before I started there, but again I knew a lot of him. A lot of good things have been said about him, about how he's a top professional as a player, but also as a manager and sort of as a mentor. You can't ask for someone better really to help you.
Well, exactly that, and that's probably exactly why you've moved to Gosport. You're only a young player yourself. Let's take you back to your first really footballing steps in the game. So you came through the ranks at Southampton. They're notorious for developing probably the best youngsters in England for a long time. What was it like coming through the ranks with them?
Yeah, but being at Saints was really, really good for me because you're playing against some of the best players in the country for your age group above, age group below. Then you're also within training as well. You're training every day with some of the best players in the country, and the standard was really, really high. But as well as that, I think also being at that club in particular, it taught you to be a really good person, and they really looked after you as well as on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, and taught you, about having good morals, standards, and things like that. You can just take into everyday life. So I think being at Southampton, I couldn't have asked for a better place for my youth development growing up.
Well, Southampton, Premier League clubs, they're probably best known for really developing players more technical wise. We'll look at that a little bit later in the interview. But you would go on to join non league clubs, so you're probably well known for your time at Eastleigh, recently with Havant and Waterlooville. What do you feel like you've picked up within the last few seasons in non league, and how has that really complemented what you've learnt through your time in the Premier League academy?
I think I think when I was in the academy, I learned kind of about technically being good on the ball, comfortable with the ball, having the ball at your feet, being able to like things like your movement and things like being sharp. But when I went into non-league football, when I joined Eastleigh, physically it was just a different game. I was quite used to in the academy being that guy that was like a bit of a tough tackler and stuff like that. But you come into men's football and when you get hit by a grown man is a different story. So yeah, it's just about. I think the main thing was toughening up and also learning that you have to win games of football. That's the most important thing. At the end of the day, like teams want to get promoted, we want to try and get promoted, we want to get in the playoffs, and we have that goal, we have that push. So you got to do what you got to do to win, really. So I think that was the biggest shift. I think it was the mentality and how you approach games. It wasn't playing to develop; it's more so now it's playing to win and to make sure the team does as well as possible.
You brushed upon it a bit in, well, the introduction to that point there, about the bit what you really learnt with Southampton. Watching some of your show reels with Hammond and Waterloo for more recently, you look like a midfielder that's more than happy to overturn the ball in their own half, overturn that possession, and turn that into an attack straight away. You look like a player that's more than happy to go up and get an assist. Would you say that really sums you up as a midfielder, real box
Yeah,
to box, that traditional type?
yeah. For me, I like. For me, like I said, I think I'm at my best when I'm on that back foot on the half turn, looking to play forward, break lines, join the attack, get to the edge of the box, and having that license to kind of roam free up and down the pitch. I think that's where I'm at my best. I'm also good at dictating play, receiving it from the defence, and I've played in all three roles in the middle growing up. Whether I spent a lot of time as the holder, but I've also spent time playing as the 8 that links the players, the number 10 as well as behind the striker. And yeah, no, I feel like for me, with the attributes I've got with my power, my strength, and my pace, I'm quite comfortable to receive the ball under pressure and things like that, and to really link the play from attack to defence.
Exactly. I think you're linked perfectly as well with the likes of Danny Hollins, who I'm sure you know, an ex-EFL veteran, Adam Tommaso, who came in yesterday, another experienced player. Does this excite you, playing with players with such experience, who will probably bring you on leaps and bounds?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's one of the biggest things that drew me to this club was the senior players behind the scene in the team that they've been there and done it. They've had experience, they've played at the level, they know what it takes, to improve. And for me as a young player, I've got to be like a sponge in and around them. I've got to take anything I can with them. I spoke to the gaffer yesterday, and biggest thing for me is, as well as helping the team win and stuff, I want to improve as a player, do my extras and things like that. So no, it's I couldn't have asked for anything more. Like I wanted to learn from these guys, and these guys are not going to only help me on the pitch, but also off the pitch. How to live properly and how to look after myself as a young lad to really progress and make the most out of myself.
Well, I'm sure you'll do exactly all of those things when you're here at Gosport Borough. An exciting time and starting to build a really nice squad now. But Kaya, for yourself, what do you want to achieve with the club going into this next season?
I think ultimately, we've got a good squad going, and we're building something really special. And I think I don't see why we can't compete to get into that playoff spot. I don't see why we can't, because we've got the players for it, and we've got the group, and we've got the right staff and the management, and it seems to be everyone's in like the right direction putting together. So I can't see why we can't get into those players and even try and push for like a little promotion. I don't see why we can't, because I think like I said, we've got the players, we've got the experience clearly that we do, and I think everyone's really pulling in one direction and pulling together. So now I think that should be the aim for us, and I think we should really go for it, because, like I said, we've got something good coming along here.
Well, Kaya, it's a pleasure to have you on board. And finally, just to initiate yourself as a Gosport player, can we round this interview off with 3 final words, up the borough?
Up the borough.
And final words from me, up the borough.